in this conversation, we could be tempted to ask the question, all right, so yeah, I need to have, our ministry should reflect our campus and our ministry. All right, so what does it look like for me to reach those people, or what does it look like for me to get these people to come to our thing, to come to our stuff, right? So that may be the first question that we ask. That's the temptation, or how do I get them involved in what I'm doing? And so that question implies that we're looking for something to do, right? What are the things that I need to do? What are the steps that I need to take in order to make my ministry, to make our club, or whatever it is, to make it more diverse? But the more and more I dive into this, it's less a question of what do I have to do? It's more a question of who do I need to become? Like, what type of person do I need to be? Because the reality is, us having the ability to reach a diverse group of people, it really has to do, like, we can't do it unless we don't look at ourselves and address who we are and how we operate. And so today, I guess if I'm gonna have a thesis, my thesis is that we need to more examine the people that we are, and then how do we help our team also be intentional about the types of people that they are, and then the types of people that we are and how we operate and how we move, by us re-examining that, maybe by us make some changes in some of those things, then maybe that the fruit from that, right, will be that, oh, we have a ministry that's reaching all types of different people, right? And so fruit, right, the trees don't strain to make fruit, like it's what trees do, because that's what that's how they were created, right? So how can us having diverse ministries, how can it be a result of the fruit of who we are as people, more so than the things that we do? So that's more along the lines of what I'll be talking about. And looking at who do we need to become, we look at the ministry of Jesus. So all we're doing, all this boils down to is our endeavor, us striving to be more like Jesus Christ, right? This is not an indictment on anyone's relationship with Jesus. I'm not saying that no one's not saved. You know what I'm saying? Like, none of that. What I'm saying is, as long as we're on this earth, we have a ways to go to become more like Jesus. Like, there's always going to be a gap until we go to heaven, and then I still don't know if we're going to get there, right? So it's a continual process. And so you look at the ministry of Jesus, right? Jesus ministered to all kinds of people, right? He ministered to the Romans that were Jewish oppressors. He ministered to the Pharisees, who were the elite of the elite when it came to the religious society. He also ministered to Samaritans, right? Those folks that because racism was a big thing, so was sexism, so was classism, right? He ministered to all these different types of people, and then he resurrected. He saw his disciples. He was like, okay, so you're gonna wait. I'm gonna send the helper to you. And then when Jesus sends the helper, when Jesus sends the Holy Spirit, he gives them tongues of fire. And when they speak, everybody that's there from different places, different countries, different cultures, everybody can understand what the disciples are saying. And so we see in this that Jesus values this aspect, that the gospel is for all people. So what we're really embarking on is really becoming more like Jesus in our lives and in our ministry. And one thing that would be healthy for you to explore, for maybe for you to contemplate, is if you look at the ministry of Jesus, and then you look at your own ministry, where are the gaps that exist in your ministry and in the ministry of Jesus Christ, and maybe explore a little bit of why that is. I'm making a case that this is more a question of not what do we do, but who are we to become, so that the fruit that we bear, when we look up, we find ourselves reaching all kinds of people, right? Let me lay some groundwork related to this before I go into some reasons why this has to go outside of here's what you do. And so what happens is, the more and more we spend time with our in-group, people that share our feelings, our thoughts, our likes and dislikes, our ideals, our theology, the more we spend time with these people, the more we identify with these people, and the more and more our association with this group gets tied to who we are, our identity. And so if our identity is involved, that means our self-esteem is involved. That means my ability to feel good about myself and who I am is tied to me being a part of this group, this in group. So what happens is, right, so we spend a lot of time with a certain group of people. And so that everyone that's not in that group, we don't value their opinion. We don't feel as though we need to associate with them at all. We think that what's normal for us is normal for everybody, right? And so, and it just becomes this division where, for whatever reason, we just can't, we lack the ability to see those other people. We lack the ability to more quickly identify with the things that we have in common with them than the things that create differences between us. We lack that ability. We lack the ability to empathize with them so that when they go through something, maybe we don't empathize with it in the same way as when the people that's in our in group goes through something, the way we would empathize with it if they encounter something. So the reason I think this is very vibrant and really important, because it doesn't matter the context of the groups. It can be race, right? We can be talking about race in this instance, but it doesn't necessarily have to be race. This dynamic happens across many different contexts. But the more and more we spend time with the familiar, the more and more our identity is wrapped up in that group of people. And then so to travel outside of that group, right? That's when we get insecure. That's when we get defensive, because we feel like it's an attack on our identity. And that's why this is such a big deal.